Hey everybody, Mitch here, 506SXS ATV, and this video I need to do some maintenance on my 1000 Pioneer. So it's not going to be really do-it-yourself, step-by-step kind of video. It's going to be more of some time lapses. I'll show the broken parts, I'll show the new parts, and kind of get a view of what it's like to take this thing apart. Again, I'm not a mechanic. I don't swear to be one, so I'm learning as I'm going as well. I've already had some of the stuff apart before, so I kind of have an idea what I'm doing. But I plan on taking the whole front end apart, tires, control arms, axles. I'm going to pull the diff, and what I'm aiming to do here in the front is replace anything that's gone bad. I know for sure that I need a passenger wheel bearing, and my front drive shaft from Super ATV has gone bad. Other than that, everything should be pretty good, but I'm going to touch everything and inspect every part, so I'm good to go for the summer. And then once I get the front done, I'm going to move on to the back. I got to do axles and some seals and stuff in the back as far as I know. So with any luck, this should go smooth. There'll be not a lot of cursing. Hopefully I don't get bloody knuckles too bad. So enjoy the video. So let's jump right into it. Tear the front end apart, control arms, axles, the brakes, the shocks, pretty much everything except for the tie rod ends. Just shove those out of the way. I've had this apart before, so I kind of knew what I was doing. The bike's got about 15,000 kilometers on it now. Everything's fairly tight here in the front from what I'm noticing. Just trying to get everything out of the way so I can get that front diff and get the drive shaft out of there. Take those nice shocks out of the way. Get everything tied up out of the way here. These control arms out of the way. So much more room when you get all this stuff out of the way. Clean up all my bolts so I don't lose them. Kind of put them where they go, where they belong. Now that that's all out of the way, it's time to start on the front diff. Drain the fluid so I'm not getting it everywhere. Get that old fluid out of there. The wife really likes when I play with this stuff. It's finally time to start working on the front diff. Tear all the sensors off it, the hoses, the wires, anything else that's attached to the front diff, get it ready to pull out. Just like that through power editing, time lapse. It only took a few seconds and out comes the diff. Here comes the drive shaft. There's no ball bearings left in it. It's just like a bunch of old hard black grease and a cage. supposed to be half a dozen ball bearings in there, so like big ball bearings. They're gone. So here's the main reason I took the front end apart. Drive shaft's wobbling. That's all that's left for ball bearings. Okay, so here's the old Rhino Super ATV drive shaft. It lasted about a year, probably a couple thousand kilometers. And here's the new one to go in. This is a CV style drive shaft rather than a U-joint style like the original one. Okay, I've got the shaft installed, greased the splines, and I'm going to try and stab this front differential back in there and get it all hooked back up. All I need to do now is hook up my sensors and control arms, axles, shocks, brakes, hub, change the wheel bearing. Easy, right? Okay, so once the front end of this bike's all back together, I'm going to start on the back end. I've got new axles coming. I'm going to investigate all my bushings and wheel bearings, all that stuff, make sure it's all tight, and try to figure out why the hell I've been having all these axle issues. I talked with a nice guy from service at Toys for Big Boys, Ray. If you're watching, Ray, thanks for the help. He gave me a little bit of information. So let's get this finished up in the front, then we'll move on to the back and see what we can find. Here's my Warren winch. It's a VRX 45, 4,500 pound winch that comes factory on the Honda Pioneer 1000 Forest and Trail. It stopped working, and what I found when I've taken it apart is these little contacts. They go in these little slides here with a spring behind them, and they're spring loaded. They were seized, and the springs, you can kind of see right there, have either seized or rotted away. So that would be my issue. My winch isn't working. So I think I can get a rebuild kit to replace these and these little springs here. You just take out these 4 screws here. This whole thing should pop out, and get new terminals and new connectors and contacts. It probably should work. The motor itself and the spool, this spins freely. Spin that by hand, no problem. And I can also spin this by hand. So this is the only thing I'm seeing wrong. I'm going to get the rebuild kit and let you know how it works. So I contacted Warren about the warranty on my winch, and they want me to drive it 2 hours away, more than 2 hours away, and drop it off at an authorized service dealer and come back and get it at a later date. So I decided to not do that, and I got a 5,500 pound Power Fist. So I decided to go with the Power Fist. This is a 5,500 model. Can't beat Princess Auto's warranty, so that's why I opted to go with that winch. If it's a piece of crap, I'll take it back and get a new one. Where this piece of crap, they want me to jump through hoops, and I'm not doing that. Hopefully it fits on my machine. Here's a size comparison from the Warren winch to the Princess Auto winch. Pretty well exactly the same. Should line up great on the Honda Pioneer. Now it's time to get started on the back. I'm going to remove the wheels, the control arms, the axles. I might go as far as pulling the diff so I can clean that up and change some seals. Anything that's loose or even looks a little bit loose is going to get changed. Brand new Rhino 2.0 axles on the way. I'm doing everything. I don't want any screw ups this year. I want it to be nice and tight. Okay, here's my rear differential split open, and I don't see any damage to any of the teeth on here. The pinion teeth look fine, but this bearing is shot. This bearing, I would say, is shot. Bunch of play. This bearing in here also tons of play.
Meanwhile,
clip you saw, I had my rear differential out of the sub-side, and I was opening it up. I was planning on rebuilding it, so I contacted Honda and I looked online at partszilla.com, and it wasn't going to cost me a terrible amount for the bearings and seals and all that, but some of the parts weren't available, and the ones that were available, you couldn't order them until mid-April, whatever, back ordered. So I opted to buy a whole new differential. Now I priced it at my local dealership, and they told me it was $2,800 plus tax for the complete unit. So I looked on partszilla.com. Total with tax and shipping and all that jazz to my door delivered, I got $2,250. That's with taxes and all that. So the local dealership wanted $2,800 plus tax, worked out to be $3,200. So for $2,250, I saved almost $1,000 for the exact same thing, and I didn't have to rebuild it. I mean, whatever. Maybe I could sell my old one if anyone's interested. I got a good used differential for sale. Needs bearings and seals. So now I'm gonna get to putting it in the bike. Probably do a little time lapse, so it's a little quicker, so I don't bore you. Get that slapped in there. I got 2 brand new axles on the way. Brand new bushings for the Knuckle from Garage Products, and also I got a new Honda wheel bearing to slap in one of the knuckles. And we should be good to go, back on the trails. Enjoy the rest of the video.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Here I am under the bike. I was just going to put in some Honda gear oil, but I wanted to show you real quick this cool tool I have. It's just a little pump that goes in your oil jug, screws on, and it makes getting in these hard to reach places, which isn't too bad for me right now because I have the control arm stuck off, but you stick the hose in there, and this is actually really handy. Really handy when you have the tires and stuff all on. It's hard to get the bottle in there without making a mess. So you just put it in pump. Fits most generic oil bottles. Fits the tall round ones. I think it was like 15 bucks on Amazon or something stupid.
For those who...
Okay, here it is Monday. I'm getting more parts in the mail. I've got these new knuckle bushings from Garage Products. I'm not going to get into it too much, but just some bushings and some sleeves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, knock the old bushings out that are wore out of the knuckles, and grease these up and put these in. Lots of grease, lots of grease, lots of grease. It doesn't hurt. So I'll get these knocked out, another little time lapse. It's pretty easy, just a screwdriver or a chisel and a hammer, sort of just smash them out because they're plastic, and then they'll come out. Clean them up, grease, insert, hammer them in, grease, grease, grease. Let's get to it. Here we go. Hey everybody, so I'm working on my Pioneer. It's Tuesday, April 1st, and I just did the knuckle bushings as you saw from Garage Products. I just put a new wheel bearing in, an OEM Honda wheel bearing, and I've got both my brand new axles for the rear, the brand new diff, and I'm going to start assembling things here. Just taking a break, have a snack, have a drink, have a snack, and I'm going to start putting it back together. So fairly soon I'll be all back together and we'll know if this thing's good to go, if I did it right, or we're going to find out. I spent a pile of money, so hopefully it's right. So hopefully you're enjoying the video thus far, and hopefully we'll be back on the trails here soon. I got some good ideas for 2025, so drop me a comment. Maybe mention some spots I should check out, or what you're liking about the video. Just drop me a comment. Let me know you watched. Anyways, we're gonna continue my snack, and I'll continue on putting this together. Thanks for watching. time in a month or two. Boom. Can we start? Never freaking fails. Flat tire saga continues. Flat as a pancake. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, can you find a take where it's a bit more dramatic on that last line, yeah?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Someone help me! I have a flat tire!
Upon further investigation, seems like it's leaking around the bead. Here you can see the bubbles here, 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 there. No big deal. Tire's repaired. I took it over to Sackville to Paul's bike shop, and he fixed it up for me. Thanks, Paul. I'm going to put it on the bike, and we're finished. Oh, it's fucking heavy. So that concludes the repairs on my Pioneer. If you like this style of video, doing the time lapses, or maybe you want to see more in-depth how to repair these things, drop a comment below. Let's do a final tally of how much I spent on parts. I'll do it up on the screen here. Gives you a grand finale of this amount here, which is a ridiculous amount, I'm sure. I haven't done the math yet, but I'm sure it's $5 grand. So drop a comment below. Let you know if you like the video. Next video will be probably a test ride. I'm going to head down the trail, make sure everything's working as it should. We've got big plans for 2025. We plan on attending lots of events and different trails, different areas. So stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. I'll catch you later.